The executive of the Committee for Ballarat knew very early on that we had to have a big win very early on to show everybody that we were in fact very relevant.
In regard to the Deer Park bypass, that was one of the first major achievements of the Committee for Ballarat. And for us to actually use all the great assets that Ballarat have to offer in regard to the community, stable workforce, all the great support that actually is here for people that work here, it was absolutely critical that we then actually had access to one of the major population centres within Victoria, but then also for our business nationally.
Unfortunately, in our political system, it's incredibly adversarial. So when you've got a Liberal federal government and a Labor state government, they don't want to be seen to be giving each other brownie points. So because of that, there were some incredibly nasty roadblocks there. We at the Committee for Ballarat were able to recognise those roadblocks and become the umpire or become the conduit to get the project across the line without ruffling too many feathers or offending too many egos. As we walked into the room and the door was closed behind us, Costello put his hand up and said, "Before you start, you've got the money."
Sovereign Hill was a great supporter of the Action Committee. I think the success of that committee was that it was nimble, it was targeted, focused on an outcome and was determined to achieve it. And they had the right players undertaking the right strategic moves at the right times to influence various governments along the way. It's made Sovereign Hill far more accessible, particularly to our Melbourne-based market, and that market comes in from a number of sources, whether it's school children travelling up by coach, our international market coming from the airport in group numbers or coming from hotels in Melbourne, and certainly our normal general public visitors, the majority of whom come from the metro area. It was a project for its time. If you think back then, Melbourne was expanding in the west, and it's just gone ahead even in greater leaps and bounds over the last decade. I just can't imagine now without the bypass how the volumes of traffic, vehicles, heavy trucks, coaches, could be dealt with without the bypass.
Incredibly exciting for the city, incredibly exciting for the state, and masterfully perfect for the Committee for Ballarat as their major project that they were very instrumental in getting across the line because, as I said at the start, it made us relevant.